Hi, everyone. I'm so happy that I am part of Migrant Leaders family and happy to share my career journey with you today. I started my studies in civil engineering in 2001. At high school, like many people, my belief about good career shaped mostly by family and society. So becoming a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. My mom wanted me to become a civil engineer, and for me, the image of wearing a safety helmet in a large construction site seemed pretty cool, so I went for it. Looking back, I think that even I had the opportunity to choose anything I wanted, my thinking was quite narrow. I couldn't even imagine going to a direction related to what I enjoyed at the time, like teaching or reading psychology books. During my bachelor's studies, I didn't feel a strong connection to the subjects. If everything felt a bit rigid, and that feeling became much clearer after I completed an internship in a civil engineering company where I realized this is not something that I want to do for the rest of my life. I finished my bachelor's and then moved to Canada with my husband and spent about a year exploring my options. Eventually, I chose to study economics. Economics is a vast field where we see how smart people have modeled human behavior in our world where resources are limited. I felt more connected to topics compared with civil engineering and also started working more with data. Working with data wasn't always exciting, but over time, and now after 20 years, I've developed a deeper appreciation for it, and I can clearly see the value it brings. After finishing my studies, I moved to Liverpool and spent around 5 years there. That period was quite challenging. Initially, I focused on completing my PhD thesis, and then I started looking for job opportunities. But there weren't that many that matched my background at the time. And looking back, I think that what I saw as a confidence issue at the time was really rooted in perfectionism. So I thought that I needed to be almost fully qualified before applying for a role. So I avoided opportunities where I didn't meet like every single requirement. During that time, I took on part-time teaching roles at University of Liverpool and also started tutoring. Teaching as a tutor was a mixed experience. On one hand, I really loved teaching, but on the other hand, I often ask myself whether being a tutor is the right long-term path for me. So I just looked and looked for jobs, and eventually I found a role at a consultancy in London, where I worked for about 4 years. I was an economist, and the company was made on the idea of measuring social impact. For example, when a school is built in a community, we assess how various social benefits it creates can be quantified and monetized. While I was working in that company, I noticed that similar work was better paid in data science roles. So I used my maternity leave gap and built the necessary skills and prepared for that transition. And since 2023, I have been working as a data scientist at NatWest Climate Team. Here we provide data and model-driven insights into how climate change will affect bank customers or any climate-related issue affect bank customers. And we support them in transitioning into greener economy and help them understand and comply with evolving government regulations. I particularly enjoy this role because the impact of climate-related work matters more to me than purely financial areas in the bank. And actually, over the past year, I sometimes felt tempted to move in a direction such as investment banking or focusing on making money in the stock market. That all seemed fascinating initially. However, when I thought deeply about them and also tested some relevant tasks, I realized that it is not something I genuinely enjoy or where I feel creative and motivated. Now, if I want to summarize what I learned about myself in my career journey so far. First, when I was younger, what mattered most to me was how a job looked from outside, whether it seemed prestigious or impressive. Over time, I realized that what truly matters to me is whether I enjoy what I do. Do I feel motivated and creative when doing it? Does my work have an impact that I can relate to? And this is ongoing. And to be honest, I almost every day think about having an even more satisfying job. And the second point I learned was the importance of not giving up on finding what feels right. Even within role, there are ways to move closer to my interests by choosing projects I care about, learning new skills, or exploring interests outside work like reading or doing volunteering activities. And the third point I found about myself was that I truly enjoy connecting with people and making more visible impact on their lives. Sometimes impact is more behind the scene in my day-to-day tasks. And so I've started spending time to read more about career choice and offer volunteering career advice, which is a field I genuinely relate to. And in the long term, I hope to move in a direction to apply my expertise in this area. And finally, one of the most valuable lessons I've learned is not to overthink everything. It's important to reflect, but only to a point. Taking action, getting feedback, and adjusting the actions along the way is far more effective. And overthinking always holds me back, but the smallest steps forward are very powerful. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any question, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Fatemah. That was a really, really interesting story because it showed me how you transitioned from extrinsic motivation, pleasing family, pleasing society, doing what you think they want you to do, to intrinsic motivation, which is infinitely more enjoyable and enduring. And very much a career that is based on following your genuine interests, following your genuine purpose. I personally really appreciate that. And how you were aware of your skills. You took your skills from one industry to the next, to the next, to the next, and you're about to do the same. So thank you so much.